All right, everyone, here we are with ticker symbol WKHS, Workhorse Group Inc. And before we jump into this chart, I want to say welcome to all my first-time viewers and investors. Welcome to my channel, Invest for Tomorrow. To all my subscribers, welcome back, and let's jump into this chart. So, Workhorse Group Inc. has been in an upward direction. It's been breaking through newer highs after hitting those lows of 15.14, and from that point forward, starting to run up and stay as much as it can above the 50-day moving average. That's a good sign for the bulls that they keep on trying to break away from it, not letting it catch up to the price, and they continue to break through these resistance levels. Obviously, there's been some volatility with the uncertainty and fear and so forth, or profit taking within the market, but it continues to work its way up in an upward direction. So we're going to look at this narrowed down with what's important for tomorrow, and we're going to look at the highest point that it reached, which is our new resistance level, and we're going to look at our support here, which is one of the lowest points reached in the day. And we need to pay close attention to these numbers, because if they get broken through, it could signify this is going in either or of those directions. So this is going to be something you're going to want to pay close attention to. I want to emphasize that both of these points are important according to what's going to happen, and then we need to look at the 50-day moving average and how far we are from it. So let's go ahead and look at the 50-day moving average. The 50-day moving average is 1933. We are currently above it at a whole $1.20, because we're currently at 20.53, and that means we're in bullish territory. If we fall below it, we are in bearish territory, and you can see here how the bears have tried to tear below it, but the bulls reappear, bring it back up, fall for a little bit. This was the one time on November 5th to the 6th that the bears had some more control than the bulls, holding it down a little bit, but then they came back up, fell, came back up, fell, touched it, and they haven't touched it since the 10th, which is earlier this week, 2 days ago. So the bulls are really pushing and fighting here, but we want to pay close attention to these numbers, because if it breaks through the support and the 50-day moving average, we could be in bearish territory, and we have to pay close attention to how quickly is it moving down there, or are the bulls trying to reappear. So currently, the most important point for the bulls to continue this momentum, continue to work their way up, continue to stay above the 50-day moving average, is breaking through the resistance of 2079. 2079 needs to be broken through, turn into a support, so that the bulls can continue to work their way up to newer highs, newer resistance levels, and pull away from the 50-day moving average. So 2079 needs to be broken through. It's super important for the bulls to break through this point, turn it into a support, and continue to work their way up to new resistance levels and newer highs. If they don't accomplish this, I'm not saying that the bulls have lost control. We're still in bullish territory, but to show you guys here in a visual perspective, if this kind of hangs out, it gets close to it, doesn't break through it, and just continues to hang out in a sideways direction, this 50-day moving average will catch up to the price and at some point cross over it. And if the 50-day moving average is above the current price, we would end up in bearish territory, meaning that by default, the bears are gaining leverage, and they're going to try to pull this down and take advantage of that. So it's super important for the bulls to continue the momentum and break through the resistance to not allow that to happen. And they need to break through 2079, turn that into a support, and reach newer highs. Super significant and important for the bulls. On the other hand, we have our support. So our support is the lowest point reached after this bullish run and leveling off, which actually turned into a slight dip, and then the bulls were able to level it off, but it hit these lows, and this low here is 1968. If 1968 gets broken through, this could be on its way to newer lows, closer to the 50-day moving average, and if it crosses the 50-day moving average, it would end up in bearish territory. So I want all investors to be aware that 1968 is a very important point to pay close attention to the behavior of this stock and how it's reacting. How quickly is it moving to newer lows? Are the bears tearing this one down, or are the bulls trying to reappear because we're still in bullish territory. So you have that point to look at 1968 and the 50-day moving average of 1933 and see how it's behaving in between in that window, and how quickly is it moving closer to 1933, or are the bulls trying to reappear and bring it back up before it hits the 50-day moving average and then crosses it into bearish territory. So those are the indicators you want to pay close attention to and how it's reacting for tomorrow. As always, if you found this video helpful and informative, please do so and subscribe. Don't forget to click on the bell and turn on all notifications to not miss a single video that I post. Share this with your friends and community, and don't forget to hit that like button to let me know you watched this video. So I'm going to do a trivia question, and it's pretty simple, and I stated it a few times in the video, and I want to put emphasis on it so that you guys are aware of it. What is the highest point reached in this whole entire run from these days, and why is it important for the bulls to break through it? I want you guys to state if it's a resistance or if it's higher than the resistance, and why is it important for the bulls to break through it, and what point is it in the chart. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money. At the end of this video, there's going to be a pop-up video. In that video, I will be discussing about the S&P 500 index and how it's been rising several points on these scheduled dates. In the video, I go into more detail about it, but just to do a quick summary, on these scheduled dates, the Federal Reserve is pumping the markets. By doing so, the S&P 500 index rises up with it. The charts and the dates speak for themselves. But what does that mean for us as investors? Well, if the S&P 500 index is rising up several points, there's individual ticker symbols within the S&P 500 index rising up with it. They're rising up anywhere from 30 cents to $3 per share. I know it may not seem like a lot, but per share that does add up. I know that sometimes we're looking to make more per share or make these big gains, but like I always say, if you put $1 into the market and you got back $2, you've done a great job. Profits are profits. I'm not there in the video to tell you what to buy, sell, or hold. I'm not guaranteeing you profits. You have to do your due diligence and research. I'm just there to inform and enlighten every single investor and viewer on the great news that there is an opportunity to maximize profits and minimize losses for as long as the Federal Reserve continues to pump the markets. Up to now, as we see it in the charts and the dates, they speak for themselves. In the video, like I said, I go into more detail about it. I wouldn't want you guys to miss out on it. Super helpful information for every single investor and viewer. And not only that, but you can also check it out for yourselves from the sidelines if you don't feel comfortable investing just yet using that strategy. But check it out. You can see it. And also, you can pick an individual ticker symbol and look at the S&P 500 index on those dates, and you'll see that some of them correlate in the same movement. Obviously, they're not moving in the same amount because an individual ticker symbol can only move so much, and the S&P 500 is moving because of 500 different ticker symbols. But you can see the correlation, how they directly and indirectly affect each other or correlate. So check it out. I hope you guys check it out and see value in that video. I look forward to seeing your guys' comments about that video on that videos section. And thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money.